And we're looking at a chilly start to the day and even colder temperatures tonight. I'll show you when a frost advisory goes into effect and for who.
Also coming up, restricting water. New rules are in effect for thousands of people all across Wake County as the dry conditions drag on. How these new restrictions will affect your water usage. Also, ceasefire in limbo. Both the U.S. and Iran accusing each other of breaking the agreement. What lies ahead before the ceasefire is set to expire this week. WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. The time is 8 a.m. here on your Monday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. Boy, what a switch. Somebody flipped
Big
the
difference.
switch and it went down. Let's go over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking this chilly morning for us.
You know, I think we are settling into those high temperatures in the 80s, but that's way above normal for this time of year. So cold front came in and brought us back to reality. This is a live look at downtown. This is our Jimmy V camera looking down Fayetteville Street. I imagine that we're going to see plenty of people walking around in a jacket this morning. We dropped down into the 30s in the Triangle, but we're back to 46 now. Wind has shifted to southwesterly, but it will switch to northwesterly, and that means even cooler temperatures for tomorrow morning. Looking at 36 in Roxborough, but elsewhere are already climbing into the mid-40s. That's still chilly. Temperatures are about 20 to 25 degrees colder than this time yesterday. We'll climb into the mid-60s by lunchtime, and then upper 60s for highs this afternoon. And with temperatures a bit cooler overnight, we have a frost advisory in effect from the Triangle area northward. I'll show you what it will feel like for you tonight and early tomorrow morning. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, we continue to follow that breaking news on Capitol Boulevard. Those northbound lanes right at I-540, the crash shutting down those lanes right now. So let's take you outside, give you a live look. So if you look rather closely to your set right now, you can see right down below the I-540 bridge on Capitol Boulevard, you can see first responders working that scene. We've got a crew on their way to that scene to let you know exactly what's going on. As soon as we get eyes on it, we'll let you know how that's going to affect your morning commute. But you're heading north on Capitol Boulevard, you might want to hop over to Falls of News as an alternate route. To the east of Raleigh, we're seeing the usual slowdown on I-87 and Smithfield Road. Don't forget the NC 540 project that's going on between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road. That's why we're seeing these heavy congested areas this time of the morning around that particular area. So right now, you're looking at a 9-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale this morning. So if you're in a rush, you might want to take Business 64 as an alternate route. We're seeing the usual congestion on US 1 South coming in off of Wake Forest. That's just an 11-minute delay. But again, the delays we're talking about are in the northbound lanes right at I-540. So keep that in mind. You get ready to head out. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. We have a heads up now for Raleigh water customers. New water restrictions are in place today. The new rules will affect water usage for more than 600,000 Raleigh water customers. That includes people in the towns of Wake Forest, Roseville, Zebulon, Wendell, Nightdale, and Garner. So WRAL's Allie Catlabar is live in Raleigh for us. And Allie, these new restrictions, we know, went into effect at midnight.
Yeah, so we shouldn't be seeing any sprinklers on this morning, which means we'll likely see a lot more of these dry patches pop up on grass and neighborhoods and landscapes. Now, starting today, the city of Raleigh is implementing stage 1 water restrictions. City of Raleigh guidelines say if you have a sprinkler, you can use that between midnight and 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. That's if you have an odd-numbered address, or on Wednesdays if you have an even-numbered address. Water no more than a ½ inch per week. Handheld water is allowed at any time. The city will be monitoring water usage. They'll give out warnings first, then fines. We spoke with Raleigh residents who are hopeful they won't have to deal with these restrictions for long.
It will really change planting plans, too.
We'll just abide by the restrictions, and everyone's keeping their fingers crossed that we get rain.
Yeah, we are all hopeful for rain, and we know that Raleigh Water, they're expected to reevaluate their water restrictions tomorrow. We're going to be following that. You can find more about these restrictions on WRAL.com. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadhabar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you. And you can find extended, in-depth conversations on the severe drought, the water restrictions, and how we got here on the WRAL YouTube page. Just go to the homepage and search drought.
Well, the man accused of murder in a weekend shooting in Raleigh is expected to appear in court today. Raleigh police arrested 42-year-old Dante Young in that case. He's accused of killing 36-year-old Tyrone Van Dyke. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on Walnut View Road as police investigated Saturday night. Police say Young and Van Dyke knew each other and got into an argument before the shooting. Young is being held without bond.
President Donald Trump now accusing Iran of violating its ceasefire agreement with the U.S. In a Truth Social post, the president says Iran targeted vessels from France and the U.K. in the Strait of Hormuz. Shortly after this post, he announced that the U.S. seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship after it tried to breach a naval blockade. This is prompting Iran now to accuse the U.S. of violating the ceasefire. President Trump is threatening to target Iranian energy infrastructure if Iran does not agree to a deal to end the war. So the latest escalation here comes as the ceasefire is set to expire on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Vice President J.D. Vance is planning to attend a new round of talks with Iranian delegates in Pakistan. Negotiations will not only focus on ending the war, but also on control of the Strait of Hormuz and nuclear constraints on Iran's enrichment program. The new meeting will be more than a week after the vice president's first round of talks, which ended without a deal.
And Laura, with all that in mind, we're keeping an eye on gas prices this morning. The new numbers from AAA showing prices going down slightly in parts of our area. In Raleigh, the average cost of a gallon of gas is $3.80. That's down 1 cent from yesterday. In Durham, Chapel Hill area, gas holding steady at $3.91. In Fayetteville, gas is around $3.65, down 2 cents from yesterday. Now, to find the best gas prices near you, check out the WRAL Fuel Tracker. Just go to WRAL.com and search fuel. Well, today we'll get an update on efforts in Wake County to prevent juvenile crime. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's joining us live from the Wake County Justice Center this morning. And Kelsey, data shows fewer young people are accused of crimes, but county leaders believe more measures can still be taken.
Yes, Kim, this morning, Wake County leaders will dig into new information about different ways to keep your kids safe. So they'll be meeting here at the Wake County Justice Center a little bit later this morning to get an update on juvenile crime prevention. State data shows the number of young people accused of crimes has gone down by about 14% from 2024 to 2025. Wake County leaders have laid out priorities to help continue that downward trend, including filling vacant positions on the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council and exploring the causes of juvenile crime. County data shows 46% of juveniles who committed a crime reported prior drug or alcohol use, and all 46% said they had not received prior treatment. That update is scheduled for this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Happening today, Vance County commissioners are holding a special meeting to consider a rezoning request for a new data center. Earlier this month, a lot of residents spoke out against the idea of bringing the data center to their backyards. County commissioners delayed their decision on it. Natelli Holdings is the company proposing rezoning plans along Highway 158. That's just west of Henderson. Nearly 24 people shared their thoughts about health and environmental concerns, along with the developer's attorney for the possible project. That special meeting is at 5 p.m. in Henderson. It will also be carried live on YouTube.
Today is the start of Raleigh-Durham Startup Week. There will be free events for entrepreneurs throughout the week all across the Triangle. Some of the topics being covered today include artificial intelligence. That event will be at UNC Chapel Hill. Now, there'll also be discussions about climate technology at NC State. Information on how to register can be found at the Raleigh-Durham Startup Week website.
The American Tobacco Trail in Wake County is closing today for improvements. The closures will remain in place for 2 months. The county didn't specify which part of the trail are closing, only saying that some will close partially and others completely.
What's up now, 8:09. The clock is ticking. State leaders return to Raleigh this week facing major deadlines and no budget deal. From Medicaid to state pay, we'll look at what's on the line as time runs short.
And protecting the planet. People across the triangle are getting on an early start on celebrating Earth Day. How organizers hope it leads to change. Elizabeth?
Speaking of change, it's a whole lot cooler than it was yesterday. This morning, temperatures have started in the 30s and 40s, but by 9 a.m., if you're walking the dog, it'll be around 50 degrees. Temperatures will be even colder tomorrow morning. I'll show you who's under a frost advisory starting tonight. 8:13, beautiful start this morning with lots of sunshine. This is a live look at Rocky Mount Mills. Seen a couple of people walking around there with some jackets on this morning, but temperatures are already beginning to creep up. We started off with temperatures pretty widespread in the 30s, and now it's 44 in Fayetteville, 45 in Roanoke Rapids, 47 in Wilson and Rocky Mount right now. Plenty of sunshine today, but definitely that jacket will feel comfortable at least for a bit. It stays cooler this afternoon, too, than we saw for most of the weekend. If you're headed out to exercise, temperatures are in the mid-40s right now, so you may need to add an extra layer. A little later, it feels more comfortable. Lunchtime, temperatures in the mid-60s. We'll climb to almost 70 at 4 o'clock. If you're running or exercising after work, we're close to 60 degrees. We do have a small chance for some showers over the weekend. I'll let you know when to expect that. Coming up, Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on top of some breaking news on US 1 or Capitol Boulevard, and those northbound lanes, a crash shutting down those northbound lanes. So you look closely right here below the I-540 bridge, you can see what we're talking about. We're working to figure out exactly what happened, but those northbound lanes, it appears that a couple of them have reopened, but still one of them remain closed. And I'll keep an eye on it and let you know how much it's going to continue to affect your morning commute. Right now, we're looking at an 8 to 10 minute delay on I-87 and those southbound lanes. I'll keep you posted here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
We are now just a few days away from the start of the 2026 state legislative session. North Carolina residents and remains the only state in the nation without a new budget. One of the top concerns, Medicaid, of course, which is about to run out of money in a few weeks. That leaves some worried that doctors will start turning away the 3 million patients on that program. Medicaid serves a quarter of the state population, mostly low-income families and people with disabilities. State employees have also been going without promised raises, and all of state government is running on outdated spending plans. Officials say that adds to the strain on important government services and makes it harder to recruit and retain workers.
People know there's not too many state employees. They know when they try to register a new business and there's not enough people, so it takes them longer. They know through DMV lines.
To tackle when they return to Raleigh this week, and that doesn't even count the bills on social issues the legislature plans to tackle. For a full breakdown of what some of those issues are and what's driving this budget stalemate, you can find a detailed article online at the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. There is a new lawmaker in the North Carolina state legislature. Jonah Garson was sworn in as a North Carolina state senator yesterday. Garson will represent Caswell, Orange, and Person County in the state. He's taking a former state senator Greg Meyer's seat. Meyer resigned last month to take over leadership of the NC Justice Center.
An urgent health alert from state health officials. Cases of Legionnaire's disease are on the rise in North Carolina. It is serious lung infection spread through contaminated water, mist, not person to person. Older adults, smokers, and those with health conditions are most at risk. Officials urging simple steps at home to help prevent it, like flushing unused faucets and properly maintaining equipment. Well, some promising news for people battling pancreatic cancer. Researchers are looking into the mRNA-based vaccine to fight the disease. 16 patients were part of the trial after they underwent chemotherapy, surgery, and used an immunotherapy drug. Workers then created a personalized vaccine, which the patients received over 9 weeks. Half of those patients showed a successful response to the vaccine, and 7 of them were still alive 6 years after that trial. Researchers say they plan to present their findings at the American Association of Cancer Research today.
An NC State fraternity is breaking the silence surrounding suicide and mental illness. Sigma Pi hosted its annual Break the Silence 5K yesterday at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. The event pays tribute to a fraternity brother who died by suicide. The event broke a record, raising more than $16,000 for suicide awareness and prevention. The money will benefit the Foundation of Hope, a local nonprofit that funds research for long-lasting treatments and cures for mental illness.
Well, a California couple got an unexpected wake-up call over the weekend. Take a look at what we're talking about here. A hot air balloon was forced to make an emergency landing in a backyard because of dying winds. The couple living in the home was alerted by their backyard camera. The balloon ended up drawing the attention of the entire neighborhood.
Someone knocked at the door, and I opened up the door, and he goes, "They just landed in your backyard." I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "The balloons." And I was like, at first I was thinking, like, is this a neighbor who lost a balloon and it went in my backyard and they want me to get it?
Well, crews eventually maneuvered that balloon back to the street and packed it up. Fortunately, nobody was hurt and there was no damage to that backyard.
Well, it is Marathon Monday in Boston, and this year marks the 130th year of the race. Over the weekend, the festivities kicked off with young runners. The Boston Athletic Association's Invitational Mile kicked off the marathon weekend. Youth, high school, and professional runners are all invited to compete. The event celebrates tradition and community, and many of the young runners say an opportunity like this is rare.
This was an experience like no other, so it was really all about just like having fun. It was really exciting for like both of us the whole day.
For me, just seeing the joy in the kids' faces and introducing young folks to healthy activities like running.
About 40 minutes at around 9 a.m. with the wheelchair men's race. There will be staggered starts until Wave 6 begins around 11:21. Earth Day celebrations are getting started early in the Triangle as well. People packed into Durham Central Park over the weekend with a focus on protecting the planet.
Yeah, the festival brought out vendors, music, and hands-on activities. This year's theme, Our Power, Our Planet, centers on how everyday choices can make a difference. Organizers say it's all about getting the community involved.
We want the community to learn more about how they can get involved in kind of classic celebrating Earth Day every day. We love picking up litter every day, keeping our community clean, planting trees, especially native trees, to help the environmental ecosystem to thrive.
Oh, my Leadership Triangle alum, Tanya, haven't seen her in a while. Organizers hope people take those ideas home with them and implement them.
And there were also Earth Day celebrations in Carborough yesterday. Events spread across Town Hall, the Commons, and Weaver Street with live music, art, and hands-on activities. There were also resource tables and eco-friendly outreach programs for families. Organizers say it was a beautiful day to bring the community together and focus on the environment. Earth Day is officially on Wednesday.
You know, getting back to the Boston Marathon, we got good running weather outside.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, and even here over the weekend, it was a little breezy, especially yesterday, but still okay. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the cooler temps we do have today.
One thing that we were hoping for over the weekend was at least a little bit of rain with that front, but officially at RDU, we did not see any. There was some in the mountains, a little bit better chance at the coast. But what's new this morning is a frost advisory goes into effect tonight for at least the northern part of the viewing area, including the Triangle. And it's much colder this morning. This morning, we've seen temperatures 20 to 25 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Sunday, unfortunately, is trending drier. I mean, I know people may have outdoor plans. We need the rain so badly, and it's trending not completely dry, but it just doesn't look quite as wet as it did, say, 3 or 4 days ago. This is a look at downtown Raleigh. I'm not seeing a whole lot of people out there. Right now, the wind is fairly light out of the southwest, 6 miles per hour, and we've warmed up into the mid-40s. Temperatures have taken a pretty big jump just in the last hour. High pressure, though, will continue to keep our winds coming out of the northwest. We're seeing that shift right now. Winds are starting to turn to the northwest, which will continue to push the cool air in. So this is what it will look like overnight tonight. This means, around this time of the morning, maybe around 7 a.m., temperatures will be in the mid-30s in Durham and Raleigh, 34 Lewisburg, 31 in Roxborough, 38 Southern Pines, a little bit warmer down to the south, so there's no frost advisory there. It extends as far south as Lee County and Johnston County, and then all of our northern counties could see temperatures in the low to mid-30s. So that means you may want to cover your plants. Time of year that a lot of people have already set their gardens out, which is, of course, pretty normal. We do see our last average freeze around the first 2 weeks of April, and we're a little bit past that, but again, we do sometimes see the freezing temperatures this late. Mid-70s for our normal high, so we're below that the next couple of days, and then we climb into the mid to upper 80s starting on Wednesday. Looking to the weekend, Saturday looks nice. Sunday, comfortable temperature-wise. We'll be watching for that potential for a few isolated showers and storms. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on top of that situation that we've been following now for the last hour and a half on US 1 northbound, Capitol Boulevard, if you will. Right now, the I-540 interchange, a crash shut down that area. Right now, you're looking at I-540 proper, but this was the situation down below the bridge. We're not seeing that much traffic there, so we're either thinking that some lanes have reopened or this is completely cleared. As soon as we get eyes on it and get more information, I'll let you know exactly how it's going to continue to affect your morning commute, if at all. Again, these are the northbound lanes of Capitol Boulevard, US 1, if you will. Here's a live look at I-87 and Smithfield Road, and a reminder, the complete NC 540 project is going on between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road. So for the entire month of April, you're going to be running into some congestion in this particular area of I-87. So keep that in mind. As we widen out the view right now, you're only looking at a 7-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest. More news, weather, and traffic after the break.
And coming up, quest for the cup. The Carolina Hurricanes play.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the cooler temperatures we're seeing today. Elizabeth.
We dropped into the 30s in a lot of places this morning, but now we're starting to see temperatures warm up a little bit. This is a live look at Dix Park. The Gibson Play Plaza looks very quiet this morning with these cool temperatures, but this afternoon it should be nice and comfortable in the upper 60s. Right now it's 45 in Roanoke Rapids, 46 in Raleigh, 47 in Wilson and in Rocky Mount. So it's a chilly start this morning, but lots of sunshine this afternoon will bring temperatures up into the upper 60s. Warmer temperatures ahead by the middle of the week. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Crews have cleared that crash on US 1 North Capitol Boulevard, if you will, right near the I-540 interchange. So those northbound lanes are flowing nicely again. What's not flowing nicely, the southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. Right now, you're looking at a 10-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. You might want to take the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side. But I'll keep you posted here in the WRAL Traffic Center. Have another update at the top of the hour.
Today, the man accused of murder in a weekend shooting in Raleigh will be in court. The WRAL breaking news tracker was at the scene on Walnut View Road Saturday night. 42-year-old Dante Young is accused of killing another man. Young is in jail without bond. Starting today, Raleigh Water is implementing Stage 1 water restrictions. This will affect usage for more than 600,000 customers. Automatic and manual sprinklers are allowed between midnight to 10 a.m. Homes with odd numbers can water on Tuesdays, even-numbered addresses on Wednesdays. Next on Fox 50 now, how the town of Lake Lure is gearing up for a major milestone.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And it's chilly out there this morning. A big drop after our cold front moved through yesterday. Tonight, some people are under a frost advisory. I'll let you know if you're one of them.
Yes, restrictions in place. Drought conditions are forcing Raleigh water customers to limit their usage. What you're being asked to do starting today.
Also, preventing juvenile crime. Efforts in Wake County to improve safety in the community. The plan's county leaders are looking to address today. Thanks so much for joining us here. We got a lot to get to, and glad you're with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. And speaking of that, let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Elizabeth, last week we were in the 90s, and today we're going to get to the 60s?
That's right. Spring in North Carolina. It's always interesting. Here's a live look at downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera. People walking around definitely in long sleeves. Our temperatures have climbed into the mid-40s, but we had widespread temperatures in the mid to upper 30s just a couple of hours ago. Winds will be shifting today to northwesterly. That'll continue to feed the cool air in. Right now it's 43 in Southern Pines, 47 in Rocky Mount, and 43 degrees in Roxborough. And these temperatures are about 20 to 25 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So we're going to see a much cooler day behind the front. Mid-60s at lunchtime. We climbed to almost 70 this afternoon, which feels comfortable. But we do have another cold night in store. A lot of us are under a frost advisory starting at midnight. That's going to be from the Triangle area northward, including Lee and Johnston counties. We'll talk more more about how cold it will get tomorrow morning and when we return to highs in the 80s. Coming up, Ken.
What's been happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? We're just keeping an eye on this southern loop of the Beltline. It's the usual congestion we see this time of the morning. There's I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. Right now, you're looking at a 7-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. Things are getting better because it was up to 10 minutes if you were with us in the last half hour. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County between Highway 36 and the Beltline. To the east of Raleigh, I-87 and Smithfield Road, we're seeing some heavy congestion as well. And a reminder about the NC 540 construction project that's going on between Hodge Road and the Smithfield Road exits. There's a traffic shift in this area. Right now, that's a congestion you'll be seeing at least for the rest of the month. So keep that in mind. You might want to take Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard as an alternate route if you're in a rush this morning. But anyway, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay on I-87 right now out of Nightdale. So nothing that's going to make you late. 5-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest, and just a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Apex on US 1 North. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. We have a heads up now for Raleigh water customers. New water restrictions are in place starting today. The new rules will affect water usage for more than 600,000 customers. That includes people in the towns of Wake Forest, Roseville, Zebulon, Wendell, Nightdale, and Garner. WRAL's Ali Katlabar is live in Raleigh for us. And Ali, these new restrictions actually went into effect at midnight.
That we shouldn't be seeing any sprinklers turned on, and we haven't so far this morning. Today, the stage 1 water restrictions went into effect for Raleigh water customers. And I want to walk you through what this means. So take a look at this graphic. City of Raleigh guidelines say if you have a sprinkler, you can only use that between midnight and 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, and that's if you have an odd-numbered address, or on Wednesdays if you have an even-numbered address. Water no more than a ½ inch per week. Handheld watering is allowed at any time. The city is going to be monitoring water usage, and they're going to give out warnings at first and then fines. Now, Raleigh residents are not the only ones dealing with this. We just heard him mention 6 other towns are also having to follow these guidelines and restrictions as well. Raleigh Water says that they're going to reevaluate restrictions tomorrow. Of course, we'll be following that. You can get a full Q&A list of what you need to know about these restrictions on WRAL.com. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Katlabar, WRAL News.
Ali, thank you. And you can find extended, in-depth conversations on this severe drought, the water restrictions, and how we got here on the WRAL YouTube page. Just go to the homepage and search drought.
President Trump says U.S. forces have seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship that he says tried to break through the U.S. Navy's blockade. This is new video from U.S. Central Command of Marines boarding that Iranian ship. Now, in a post to Truth Social, President Trump says the cargo ship was intercepted in the Gulf of Oman after ignoring warnings to stop. Now, after the ship's seizure, Iran accused the U.S. of violating the temporary ceasefire. In a statement, the spokesperson for Iran's military headquarters says Iran will soon respond to this act of armed piracy. The latest incident comes as both the U.S. and Iran are at odds ahead of the ceasefire's expiration this Wednesday. Yesterday, President Trump says U.S. negotiators will be in Pakistan today for another round of peace talks, but Iran's foreign ministry says no decision has been made on whether to hold new talks.
Right now, gas prices are on a downward trend locally. According to new numbers from AAA this morning, the average gallon of gas in Raleigh costs $3.80. That's down more than 10 cents from a week ago. Fayetteville is down 13 cents in a week to $3.65, and Rocky Mount is down 14 cents in a week to $3.66. To find the best gas prices near you, you can check out the WRAL Fuel Tracker. Go to WRAL.com and search fuel.
Today, we'll get an update on efforts in Wake County to prevent juvenile crime. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey shares the declining data around young people being accused of crimes.
This morning, Wake County leaders will dig into new information about how to keep your kids safe. They'll meet here at the Wake County Justice Center to get an update on juvenile crime prevention. State data shows the number of young people accused of crimes has gone down by about 14% from 2024 to 2025 here in Wake County. County leaders have laid out priorities to help continue this downward trend, including filling vacant positions on the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council and exploring the causes of juvenile crime. County data shows 46% of young people who committed a crime reported drug or alcohol use, and all 46% said they had not received prior treatment. That update is scheduled to happen this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
A man accused of attempted murder is due in an Orange County courtroom today. Chapel Hill police arrested 22-year-old Jose Enamorado Flores on Friday in Chatham County. He faces more than 20 charges, including attempted murder and shooting into an occupied dwelling. Investigators say one person was injured. He's in jail without bond.
Police in Louisiana say a man shot and killed 8 children. Investigators are looking into this as a domestic violence case. Shreveport police identifying the man as Shamar Elkins is accused of shooting 10 people, including 8 children who were between the ages of 1 and 14. Police say Elkins is the father of 7 of those children. Officers shot and killed him after a chase. Elkins is also accused of shooting his wife and another woman believed to be his girlfriend. Both of them are in the hospital with serious injuries.
And this shooting, Ken, has left the entire community distraught. You're looking at video of dozens of people gathering for a vigil last night. People paid their respects to the victims with prayers and candles. Many of them, including a woman who knew one of the children killed, says this situation really hits close to home.
I'm a mama myself, and I'm a grandmother as well. And it just makes you take your children and hug them and hold them and tell them how much you love them. Because you just don't know.
There are just no words for this. The shooting is being investigated as a domestic violence incident, as just mentioned, but a motive has not yet been determined.
Well, police in Iowa are also investigating a mass shooting. This one happened early yesterday morning. Iowa City police say they were responding to reports of a large fight. Now, when they arrived, they heard gunfire. 5 people were hurt, including one who remains in critical condition in a hospital. The University of Iowa says 3 of the people injured are students, but investigators say there's no indication students were targeted. Police have not made any arrests, but they're looking for the people considered to be persons of interest in this shooting.
Starting today, businesses can claim refunds for Trump tariffs that were ruled to be unconstitutional. Importers and their brokers can start claiming refunds through an online portal beginning at 8 a.m. And that happened in the last 40 minutes. It's the first step in a complicated process that also might eventually lead to refunds for consumers. Back in February, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against Trump regarding trade taxes. The High Court found that he overstepped his power by raising taxes on imports from most countries. Trump had used a 1977 law to claim the trade deficit was a national emergency, but the court ruled that only Congress has the power to set those tax rates.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, I'm keeping my eye on race day in Boston. It is the Boston Marathon happening today, and it's set to get started at around 9:06, so we're about 20-ish minutes away from that. I want to show you this video that the Boston Marathon official Instagram page showed of the runners getting prepared as they're heading out to the beginning of the race. Quite a few people that are out there, and it's a pretty cool angle to see them walking, and a lot of people are hyped there. Even one person in the comments saying, this is the best feeling, right? So what is today looking like? We're talking about 30,000 people participating, and there are 10,000 volunteers that are making this all happen. And what you're seeing on your screen now, this is the schedule, right? It actually begins at 9:06 with the wheelchair men's race, and then at 9:09 with the wheelchair women's race, and then later pro men at 9:37 and pro women at 9:47. So again, a lot of different things that are happening schedule-wise today. I do want to leave you with just one last look. I was trying to get you a look at the actual starting line. I'm not seeing a live look at that at the feed, but here's the finish line. So that's quite a way to go here, but a lot of Boston Marathon.
Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes will try to make it 2 in a row in the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They'll host the Ottawa Senators at Lenovo Center. The Canes won Game 1 of their series Saturday, shutting out the Senators 2-0. Canes players, including Taylor Hall, credited goalie Frederick Anderson for coming up big and say they need to support him even more tonight.
We don't want to have him tested as much as he was. Their PP started to figure us out by the end of the game. But he was there. He
came up big. The puck drops tonight at 7:30. Now, Game 2 tonight, the series will go to Ottawa, I should say. Game 3 will be Thursday night at 7:30. Game 4 will be Saturday afternoon at 3.
Your time now, 8:41. Shipping shakeup. A new Amazon and United States Postal Service plan could hit rural deliveries. Why you might pay more and wait longer, coming up.
And we started much cooler this morning. Our temperatures are down in the 30s in many places. We'll only climb into the upper 60s this afternoon. We have lots of sunshine in our forecast. We're going to talk about who's under a frost advisory for tonight, coming up. 8:45 is a beautiful start to the day. We started with temperatures in the 30s in most places, but we're starting to warm up now with all this sunshine. Look at that beautiful blue sky over Turnmill 2 there at RDU. It's 46 in Roanoke Rapids, 44 in Fayetteville, 47 in Wilson and Rocky Mount. We've already climbed to 51 in Goldsboro. We'll only make it so far because temperatures are going to stay cool today. Wind shifting to northwesterly keeps us cool behind yesterday's front. So 50 degrees at 9 a.m., 1 o'clock 65, and we'll climb to around 68 if you're headed out with your kids to their after-school practices. Temperature at 4 o'clock, that'll be our highest of the day at almost 70. By 7 o'clock, we're already back down into the 50s. We'll talk more about when temperatures jump back into the 80s in just a bit. Ken?
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We continue to monitor this southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. Things are actually getting better. If you're with us in the last hour, we were up to double digits, 10 minutes delay. Right now, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays whatsoever if you're navigating I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area between Highway 36 and the Beltline at this hour.
Ken, thank you. Well, the city of Durham could be getting more buses. Tonight, City Council will talk about the factors contributing to that decision. The city is considering buying 10 new diesel buses. That would cost around $8 million. However, supply chain issues could delay vehicle delivery by at least 2 years. City Council will vote tonight on whether to approve the purchase. That meeting begins at 7 p.m. Durham police are investigating a crash that killed a 17-year-old boy. He was riding a bike over the weekend when this happened. We first reported this as breaking news Saturday night. It happened near the intersection of Cole Mill Road and Wyndham Lane. A vehicle driving north on Cole Mill Road hit the 17-year-old. He died on the scene. We're working to learn if the driver will face any charges and what those charges will be.
Well, one person is dead, another was injured during a shooting in Halifax County. This all happened early yesterday morning on Hollister near Mills Road. Deputies say both victims were found shot. One died at the scene. The other was taken to an area hospital. Investigators are asking anyone with information to come forward.
Governor Josh Stein spoke at a Holocaust remembrance event in Raleigh over the weekend. Stein is the state's first Jewish governor. The past week marked Holocaust Remembrance Day, and the North Carolina Holocaust Council works within the Department of Public Instruction. Stein remains very outspoken about anti-Semitism. Yesterday, he reinforced that push in his remarks.
Anti-Semitism is among the world's oldest and most persistent forms of hatred. It neither began nor ended with the Holocaust, and we must do everything we can to stamp it out. As governor, I will continue to speak out and to work with our law enforcement and community leaders to ensure that Jewish North Carolinians can live, worship, and gather freely and safely.
The event comes after recent arson attacks on synagogues and other Jewish-linked sites in the UK.
You may have to pay more to have your packages shipped if you live in a rural area. That's if a new deal between Amazon and the U.S. Postal Service goes through. Under the new agreement, Amazon would cut back the number of packages it ships through the post office by at least 20%. That would be around 200 million packages yearly that Amazon would deliver itself. Now, if that happens, the cost of the post office's delivery network would be spread across fewer packages. That could lead to higher delivery prices and slower service in less populated areas. The Post Regulatory Commission has not yet approved this deal.
A country singer is making her mark. Plus, there are updates on two very different cult classic films. David Daniel has those stories in today's Hollywood Minute.
Ella Langley has her first #1 album on the Billboard 200. Dandelion, the country singer's sophomore studio disc, debuted with the best week for a country album by a woman in 2 years, according to data provider Luminate.
Yo, what's up, money? You got a problem? Nah, yo, hold my poodle, huh? Hold my poodle, dog. What, you want some of this? You want some of this?
If you've ever wondered whether the Wayans brothers would make a sequel to their 2004 comedy White Chicks, we've got an update. Sean and Marlon Wayans told Entertainment Tonight if their new Scary Movie, opening June 5th, does well, a White Chicks 2 can happen.
Deep in the heart of the forest, there is a magical world where wondrous creatures play the day away.
And going back another dozen years, Amazon MGM is developing a live-action version of Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. Mariel Heller, writer-director of The Diary of a Teenage Girl, is set to pull the same double duty with the new take on the animated fantasy. Remembering the magic powers of nature in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The small town of Lake Lure is gearing up for a major milestone. The town is planning a soft reopening of the lake today. The lake has been closed since the storm, Hurricane Helene, which left extensive damage and debris in and around the water. Crews are almost done refilling the lake. A full reopening is set for Memorial Day weekend.
I'm here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. That's such good news for Lake Lure.
It really is. So many people are going to be so
Yeah.
happy to be able to be back there for the summer because that was something that was a tradition for so many people. So good to see that for sure. Nice temperatures this morning as you're heading out the door, a little bit on the nippy side, but beautiful blue sky as we take a look over North Hills, and our temperature right now in the mid 40s. Our winds will be shifting today to northwesterly, and it'll get a little gusty this afternoon, anywhere from about 15 to maybe 22 miles per hour. And that means we'll have high fire danger again today. We've had a burn ban statewide for the last several weeks, and that continues until further notice, which could be weeks and weeks potentially. So just don't forget, we've had multiple wildfires because of the drought, because of human causes. We're looking at our cold front slipping offshore, winds shifting to northerly. That's going to really drop our temperatures for today. This afternoon's highs will be anywhere from the upper 60s to mid 70s. Fayetteville 74, Durham at 68. So if you're headed to the Hurricanes to tailgate this evening, it'll feel great. I mean, it'll look great. Lots of sunshine, but temperatures will feel cool, mostly low to mid 60s at tailgate time, but then low 50s as you're heading out of the arena. I hope they'll take the next game as they continue looking for that cup. All right, 31 in Roxborough, 33 Clarksville. This is our forecast for tonight. So temperatures could be even colder tonight than they were this morning. 34 in Lewisburg, 36 in Wilson, 36 in Sanford, and low 40s in Fayetteville and Clinton. Those are the spots that we don't have a frost advisory, but from Lee County and Johnston County northward all the way to the Virginia line, temperatures could drop into the low to mid 30s overnight tonight. If you've already planted, which I know a lot of people have, and it is that time of year, you may want to cover what you've recently planted. Our morning low, 50 degrees. Normally we'll be in the 30s tomorrow morning, but after that, we're in the safe zone, 49 Wednesday morning, and then in the 50s and 60s into the weekend. Chilly air, of course, in place here, and that moves out by the middle of the week, and those warm temperatures take over. You can see from 68 tomorrow, we go to 83 Wednesday and 88 on Friday. We do have a small chance for rain on Sunday. It looked a little bit more like we would have, some more significant rain last week, but we're already starting to trend a little drier for Sunday. Still, we have a chance, and we'll keep our eye on that as we get closer to the weekend. Laura?
Elizabeth, thank you. And before we go to break here, let's take a look at the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.